Yo, 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 what is up, everyone? Happy Wednesday! Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope everyone's keeping well. Hope everyone's staying safe, remaining unliquidated, remaining solvent in these turbulent market conditions. Without any further ado, let's get my fat head on the screen and see how we are looking today. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Slightly different layout today. We got the tap on the shoulder from the higher ups that we had a little bit of a branding change. Nothing major, just a little bit. Slightly different color scheme, but that's okay. It looks nice. Well, I spent like 3 hours on it last night, so hopefully it looks nice. We also have a new stream launching tomorrow, so I had to work on the layout for that. I'll give you all the details at the end of this stream. I'll spend a few minutes talking about it. But yeah, new show launching tomorrow with a co-host. Exciting times. A co-host who you probably don't know, but I'm hoping that you will come to know him. Very smart guy. Hope everyone is doing well. What's up, Sis? Good to see you. Marquise in the chat, nice and early. Love to see you. What's up, Funny Warrior? GM. How you doing, Sis? What's up, DK? GM. Kraken Exchange in the chat. Love to see it. What's up, Beerlack? Good to see you, bro. How you doing? What's up, Bullet Felix? What's up, Finchy, my man? What's up, DJ Gambler? How you doing, Film Ninja in the chat? Let's go. I'm a Chad, Bullet Felix. Bullet Felix, you face doxed last week or 2 weeks ago. So you're officially a Chad. Mustache Chad. It looks good. FOMC day, yeah, that is correct. What's up, Veslin? Good to see you, bro. You missed Monday's stream, but I watched it back. Had to take care of offline matters. You wanted to ask for a chart markup? Well, maybe today's your lucky day. Mustaches stick together, yeah. I've been minimizing the mustache. I look back on some of my videos from just a few months ago, and I'm like, God damn, that was a thick tash. It's very minimal these days. Maybe it'll make a comeback in the future, but for now, yeah, I look back and I'm like, how was I rocking that dirty tash for so long? What's up, Lutz? Good to see you, brah. Film Ninja in the X chat as well. Of course, we are live on my X, Kraken Pro X, my Twitch, and of course the Kraken YouTube channel. I am monitoring. I have the Panopticon in front of me. I'm monitoring all chats all the time, and we'll respond to all questions. What's up, Mr. Green? Good to see you. Kraken Pro in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, so what are we on now? 24 minutes till New York Open. Let's jump into the charts in a minute or two. Maybe I'll give you a quick overview on what has my attentions. Obviously, FOMC day today. We can talk through that. Let me maybe pull up the FOMC countdown, which I was looking at yesterday. So yeah, just under 5 hours to go till FOMC. And interestingly, I don't know, has anyone been paying attention, but there's actually a good chance we get a rate hike. It's not a majority chance, but it's like 36% now. There's an over 1 out of 3 chance we get a rate hike today. So I think that's probably one of the reasons that the market has been so shaky these last few days, especially altcoins, man. Remember the altcoins that looked really good last week? Near, XPL, even looking at coins like Zcash. LIT is down a lot. Hyperliquid is down a lot. Tau is down a lot. There's a lot of coins on my watch list that looked great. Now, there are some that look pretty good. VVV, Venice coin looks pretty good. Pump looks pretty good still. Ondo looks pretty good, if I recall. I haven't looked at the chart today, but it looked pretty good yesterday. So yeah, there are some outperformers, but the vast majority of the market looks very shaky, and I think probably FOMC has a lot to do with it. We also saw some pushback on the Clarity Act over the last few days, kind of this week. We had, it's a situation where I think that it's becoming more and more likely that the GOP, the Republicans, are going to lose the House and potentially even the Senate in the midterms. Which would probably be, that'd be a signal to risk off for crypto. Probably means that Clarity Act won't pass. Probably means that there'll be some kind of a tech unwind, AI unwind trade going into the last portion of the year. And that's been my thesis. That's been my thesis basically since Q1. Is that this AI tech trade is going to unwind. We're going to see a market-wide pullback. The equities are going to pull back 10, 20, 30%, whatever it is. And that's going to nuke crypto. That's going to give you your cycle bottom. That's where we buy. We get a green year next year. We get some nice upside, and we all get girlfriends, right? Isn't that? That's the theory. That's the theory. Let's see if it plays out. We're going to jump into the charts now. Did you like that segue? Wow, wow, wow. I'm sorry you had to hear it this way, Marquise. I'm sorry you had to hear it this way, but better you hear it now than later, right? We're coming up to 20 minutes. We're gonna run a prediction. Prediction in the Twitch chat for anyone watching elsewhere. You may get your predictions in. Bullish or bearish, New York Open. Of course, that's the way we like to do it. Bullish or bearish, New York Open. First 30-minute candle. There we go. Marquise also gets a girlfriend. That's true. That's true. That's true. Sava Yippee, my man. Beerlack with the 25 stream streak. Let's go, brother. Appreciate you, big dog. Thank you. Thank you. XPL had a great reaction yesterday, but the market isn't helping. XPL looked fantastic yesterday. But it retraced that whole move, as far as I'm aware. I know this because I was long XPL. I longed XPL. God, where did I long this thing? I have been stopped out of 2 XPL trades this month. I think my first XPL trade, I longed something like here or here. I can't remember. And I caught a decent upside move. No, sorry. You know what? I think it was earlier in the month, closer to the start of the month. Yeah, I think I longed here and ended up round tripping the whole thing. Not a great trade. I think the second trade I was in was I longed either here or here, and I got stopped out. I got stopped out on Tuesday, just yesterday when we dumped. But then I was quite tilted because I checked back in later that evening, and not only had price bounced 10%, but it had already gotten back to the point where I would have been like a few $1,000s in profit. Because again, my entry was somewhere down here. So that was a little bit tilting. So I'm in my own sick way, I'm kind of happy to see it roll over, because I don't think my FOMO wouldn't have been able to take it if I had watched this thing sail without me after stopping me out by whatever 3%. Is this still a coin that I'm looking to long? Yes, with caveats. With caveats. Let me pull open. I think I have a high time frame XPL chart here somewhere. Let me pull it open here. Yeah, we do. This was like an hourly chart or something, right? H4 chart. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It still doesn't look bad. Yeah, I posted this yesterday when it was up almost 7% on the day. One of the strongest performers on my watch list, although it has since retraced that entire move. This looks okay to me. It still looks like we're ranging, still arguably trading at this range low support. I'm looking for this to play out like a 3-tap, right? So that's your first tap. This is your second tap. I'm looking for a third tap here. I'm looking for potentially either this demand zone to get tested and to hold, right? We've swept these lows, call them Pikachu lows, call them induced lows, whatever. We now want to see the reaction. We want to see price reclaim the range, and I think that a rotation back to, you know, 0.15, something like that, could be on the cards. I'm not a big fan of that Interstellar remix or whatever that was. The old Interstellar remix. What's up, 8T-Mel? What's up, Flux? Boss man in the chat, exactly. Near is shooketh. Near is done, man. I am at the point now where I'm not looking at this coin anymore. I took a stop on this on 2 different accounts, 2 different trades, one of which was the live trade we took last week. Which, I mean, look, it's funny looking back on these trades now and thinking what could have been, but I mean, it's good risk management at the end of the day, because this thing is now 26% down from the local high. Going back to June, it's almost 50% down. It looks horrendous. Losing support, losing range low. I am happy to say that I was wrong on my bullishness on this. I mean, saying that I'm wrong, it's like it looked good. I mean, the bias I had was based on the information that I was going on at the time, which was that this looked good, and it did look pretty good. It looked like we were bouncing from support, but the market has given me new information, which is that this thing is cooked. Basically, are my thoughts. I don't like this at all anymore. Maybe we reclaim the range next month. Maybe we put in some constructive price action here, but this looks giga cooked. Not interested in it anymore. You think it's a 25% rate hike today, according to Polymarket? According to CME Group, which typically I find are very accurate, it is, oh, I can't even. It is about 36%. That's from the CME Group website. So about a 36% to 64%. Marquise will also get a girlfriend, that's true. Ça va, yippee, le mec. The breakout discount prompted you to finally get an account, Veslin. You're ready to full port. There you go. There you go. Volatility inbound. Yeah, I think so. A round trip XPL yesterday, 5% on the long. Oh, yeah. That was the one. It was the one you entered in the tracker. And the tracker wasn't playing ball. You're not looking at near until 1.3. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. The thing about near is it's also a ticking clock. Because the near trade is basically an AI trade. Near is the AI protocol. It is, I think it's conditional. Near strength is conditional on AI strength, and we saw this in 2026, right? The start of the year. You look at this low in February. I mean, this is almost a 4x. You're looking at a 3.5, 3.6x here, and that is correlated to the massive move we saw in AI, tech, hyperscalers, semiconductors. And I think as we approach what I consider to be the end of that bull run, the end of that move, that near is just going to get weaker and weaker. And I think we're kind of seeing it already. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we look for something lower. I don't know. Not a coin I'm terribly interested in anymore. It's a pity because it looked great. It really looked great. I would have said that at the start of the month, this was one of my favorite coins. Not so much anymore. I mean, but that's good. Market has given us new information and we have reacted. The worst thing you can do here is stick to your guns and be like, no, it will bounce. This is invalidated my thesis, and I'm happy to say that I'm no longer interested. It's accurate because the market dictates interest, not the Fed. The Fed follows 2-year bond yield. Yeah, I mean, there are a few different factors they look at for sure. 100% agree. Near is riding the AI wave. Without it, it's stranded. Yeah, that's my feeling. All right. Your vote for BTC Open is maybe bullish, perchance bearish. That's a nice hedge. I like that. Perchance. We don't have enough perchances on this stream. Updating on VVV. So this actually played out pretty much exactly like we thought it would. I think we drew this green arrow last week at some point. Very nice, actually, and we're kind of holding range low here. This is one of the better looking coins on my watch list for sure. Reclaiming range low, you'd have to think that this is starting to look awfully like a range low deviation now. We might be seeing a move up to this range high at some point. If BTC wants to play ball, if equities want to play ball. Looks really good. Actually, I think, I don't know. Maybe this is one we look for longs on. Huh. Yeah, I just pulled up the chart on Kraken Pro. Maybe this is something we look for longs on. I want to wait till FOMC. Probably not going to enter any positions before FOMC, because if we get a rate hike, then I think it's all bets are off, because there's a good chance at that point that BTC just legs down. Look at the Uni weekly chart. I'm not a big fan of Uni. I remember trying to trade it closer to the start of the year and not having much success. What's up, 9 Manny? Good to see you, brah. Am I doing all my trading on Kraken Pro at the moment? Yes, I am, sir. I'm doing all my... Let's jump back into that interface and show you what we're dealing with here. Hopefully this works. We updated, as I said, we updated some stuff. Yeah, this is the Kraken Pro account. We're actually down a little bit. We were sitting on 10K when I started this account. We're down to just under 9.7K because we took that loss on near, but yeah, it is what it is. Risk managed, on to the next, etc., etc. If you actually look at the near chart, I mean, it's like you can look back and you can say, damn, bro. It's like fucking exactly the wrong read here, but I don't know. There's something bittersweet about that. Instead of buying spot and getting carried for 30% or something like that, we'll just draw a line under it, pretend it never happened. Now, I like, as I said, I think that I had a thesis here. It didn't play out. It is what it is. Not too bothered about it. But I think the coin I would like to look at this stream is VVV, because I think this is looking to set up for a long potentially. Again, probably gonna wait till FOMC is over. Not interested, because if we get a rate hike, then who wants the long altcoins? To be honest, who wants to be long alts? If the Fed is said that the liquidity regime will be tightening. What are we on now? 10 minutes till New York Open. Reminder that if you want to gamble some Twitch coins, some Follis Florins, you can, of course, in the Twitch chat. Cost of business, yeah. That's something maybe we could even spend a stream talking about, man. Cost of business. If you know that you have positive expectancy on your system, then losing is just the cost of business. Systematic losses are the foundation for systematic wins. They are not. They are not failures. Let's say a mindset shift that beginner traders struggle with. What's up, Fake Al? Don't let your PTSD prevent you from looking at the uni chart. What's up, Fake Al? You want me to look at WLD? Yeah, okay, we'll look at WLD. We can look at WLD and Uni. I mean, Uni looks fantastic here, doesn't it? Looks a little bit like Ondo. WorldCoin looks terrible. Well, this looks absolutely cooked. What's the thesis here? This looks terrible. Oof. Down 60% from that June high. I mean, these lows are not Safu. Yeah, WLD only pump. I mean, it's the same as near, man. It's the exact same as near. Big pump off the lows throughout the first part of the year. Well, a slightly delayed pump, let's say. Started pumping really only in May, and then the unwind is already happening. I don't know. Yeah, I would be reluctant to touch AI coins at this stage in the year. We're almost in the 8th month of the year, about to enter the last third, the last trimester of the year. I don't know. Is that what a trimester is? I don't know. Maybe I'm using that word wrong. Would be cautious. Put it that way, would be cautious. Let's come up with a long plan on this, though. And then we're going to jump back into the BTC chart and watch the open. Yeah. So that's interesting to me. Failure to reclaim that VAL. I don't know. Kaido. We can look at Kaido. In June, it started pumping in June. Yeah, there you go. Uni weekly close above 405. We might look at Uni later in the stream. That was actually a pretty interesting chart. Pretty interesting chart. The nice thing about the kind of the textbook price action concept that played out here, liquidity concept, price action concept at the lows, is like this very, very clean PO3, and this is something that I spoke about on one of last week's streams. When you get this price action at the lows, when you get this consolidation rounding bottom type price action, sometimes you will see one final sweep of the low, just to really put the nail in the coffin for any guys who are trying to long. Really convince them that this thing is a fugazi. We retested that support resistance level pretty perfectly. I think this is also exactly $10, yeah. And from there, we've had what? 2x, oh no, plus 50% bounce. Not bad at all. It looks pretty good. I like this coin. I wonder what the play is post FOMC. Hopefully there will be some good news and we can look for longs here. But I think honestly, looking at this from a structural point of view, it's pretty good. You call that your low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. As long as this low holds, like any low in this area, and it's still a higher low. And then we have very nice equal highs to target here. Yeah, I mean, the more I look at it, the more I like it. Let's put something here. Something speculative. Targeting something like that. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Equal highs here. I'm a little bit gun shy about longing alts after seeing weakness across the board, but like I said, VVV looks pretty okay. Looks pretty good. So yeah, probably gonna wait till post FOMC before we jump into anything. EUL. I've never even heard of that. What ticker's that? 5 minutes till New York Open. You're all in Solana. All in Solana. The news I have for Solana is not good, unfortunately. You won't like what I'm about to tell you. The news on Solana is that we're losing key support level. I've seen better charts. Solana needs to reclaim 76, 77, 78 with haste, because this doesn't look great. If we want to see that range low deviation, range high deviation that we talked about, and run it back up to 100, then this doesn't look fantastic. Have I taken a lot of trades this year? I took a lot of trades. One of my best trading periods, like, of my career was November, December, January, February. I was like consistently making like 40, 50K a month, which is pretty good for me. My win rate was pretty high. It was like above 40, which for me is, that's all I need to have pretty good positive expectancy, between 40 and 50. I was getting nice trades. I was catching nice moves. I had good reads on the market. I would say that the trading since then has definitely been less consistent. I noticed a drop in consistency of my read probably around March, April. And maybe that's kind of just as we were coming into the summer PA, it got a little bit harder to read. But for sure, I've been pretty risk off the last couple of months. because I know that I'm not having an easy time reading the market. Lots of moves getting retraced, lots of coins that put in like nice price action and give you a clean setup, and then no follow through at all. It's been tough. It's been tough trading alts, in my opinion. So yeah, I would say that I had a pretty high back in Q1. Q2 was disappointing, and then what are we? 1 month into Q3. I've been risk off for most of the summer. Yo, this is a bad read on Solana. May well be. What is my most traded setup? I have a bunch. All of my like setups are in the Discord. They're all in Chrome. I have a channel for entry models, but I would say that the two setups that I trade the most, and I can draw them very quickly. What are we on here? I'll draw them very quickly. The two setups that I trade the most. Okay. Might look a little bit gibberishy, but bear with me. That is basically a PO3 continuation setup. I would say that is that is the continuation setup that I trade the most. Very simple, very effective. You're looking to take advantage of the market's momentum and play for continuation. All markets move in impulses and corrections, right? Oh my god. Impulses and corrections. Expansion, pullback, expansion, right? So you're just trying to take advantage of that of that corrective phase, that consolidation before the next expansion, right? You're trying to position. So your risk entry here would be something like this. Then you have confirmation entries all the way up, basically. That would be my highest probability continuation setup. My highest probability reversal setup would be something like this. I will change the color of that in a moment. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is like, I don't know what you would call this. MX, breaker structure, inducement, something. There's a lot going on here, but the idea is actually pretty basic. Again, you can kind of see the PO3 here, right? You can kind of see the PO3 playing out. So that's like, what would we call this? MX with inducement setup, something like that. MX with inducement reversal setup. There's a lot of words going on there. Hobbytronics, appreciate the follow. MX reversal setup. There we go. We'll just call it. We'll be a simple Simon. Yeah, and those are basically the two setups that I use the most. Here, your entry would be here if you want to be risky, or here if you want to play it a little bit safer. What's up, Hobbytronics? Oh, New York opened and we missed the open. That's all right. New York opened and we missed it. Oof. No, it's too late to do the bell now. We either get the bell bang on or we don't get it at all. We need to name this after a mythological creature. Oh, I guess it is a unicorn, isn't it? Well, if you have an inefficiency here, then that would be a unicorn, yeah. And then you're, well, not really actually, because this is more like an order block rather than a breaker. No, you could turn this into a unicorn, but as it stands, it's more of just a basic MX. For those who are wondering, what the hell does MX mean? MX just means it literally just means it's the minute that the break of structure happens, followed by the minute that the or the time interval that the sweep happens on. So you can have, let's say if this whole setup happens on the 15 minute, you would call it an M15, right? Let's say this whole setup happens on the hourly, you would call it an H1, right? Let's imagine that your trader main, because I know that the setup he likes to use is it's H1, H12, right? Or H12, H1. It's H12 break of structure, or H1 break of structure, H12 sweep, or H12 sweep, H1 break of structure. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what he uses, but it would be something like that. It's just whatever time frame your sweep is on, followed by whatever time frame your break of structure is on. You remember IRDRI? Well, it's funny, these setups in their own way are very, very similar to IRDRI. This PO3 continuation setup is basically IRDRI, right? You have impulse, range, deviation, D or I or D or retest, isn't that it? Or reclaim and impulse, right? So actually, it's very similar, very, very similar. I or D or I. Yeah, I don't know why I've kind of moved away from calling it that. Just call it a PO3 continuation setup now. It's goated for low time frame. It really is. Main uses an H12 sweep H1 break structure. There you go. So yeah, that's the point I'm making here, is that for him, he might be looking for H12 H1, right? And that's his entry model. So it's just MX. It can be HX. You're just looking for whatever time interval the sweep is on, followed by whatever time interval the break of structure is on. We're pumping straight from the open. Does that mean we dump? Well, not much of a pump so far. Remember the rules, guys. Anything less than 1%, you are not allowed. You'll get banned from the chat if you call that a pump. Kaido, yeah. Let's look at Kaido. I just want to look at the open for a minute or two. See what we get here. What is EUL? Never even heard of that, brah. There's your dump. Do these work well on low time frame? Well, price is practical. Oh, sorry. Oh my god, I need to sleep more. Price is practical, says the pro streamer. Price is fractal. So in theory, when you see these setups, when you see price schematics like this, they can happen on any time frame. The consideration there is if you're using them on ultra low time frame like M1 or M3, M2, the data set that you're using is going to be lower probability just by virtue of the fact that there's less information in it. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't work or that it can't work. It can. And actually, I think that in a lot of cases, there's a sweet spot where You know, you don't want to go too high time frame because there's just going to be too many variables at play there. But you know, you go too low time frame, there's too much noise. This is usually probably a sweet spot. I mean, for my own trading, I know that I really like trading on the M5, the M15, the M30. But I know there's a lot of guys in Chroma that kill it on the M1, so just not for me personally. Although I do from time to time execute on the M1. And that's another thing is like Fractal. Yeah, that wouldn't be the worst flub that I've come up with. There was one on one of my YouTube shorts. What was it, Marquise? I can't remember now. What was the... And it's a word that I always... What was the flub, the short flub? The word. Life is a big fractal. Yeah, it is. You see XPL on my watch list. I spent almost 10 minutes talking about XPL at the start of the stream, buddy. You gotta rewind. What was the word that I kept on messing up in that YouTube short? Did I do a silver markup? Yeah, we looked at silver. Yours was the silver markup request. We did silver on Friday stream. We spent the last 5 or 6 minutes of the stream looking at it. Ascending, that was it. That was it. There was there was a short where I had to talk about an ascending wedge, and I kept on saying ascending. I'm not, like, I don't have dyslexia, although you would have been forgiven for thinking that I did. Couldn't say ascending. Ascending. I think it was because I was doing ascending broadening wedges, and I kept on saying ascending broadening wedges. I mentioned times where my reads are not as accurate as you would like them to be. You run into such times too. Any tips on what the best way to improve on this? No, man, it's the best way to handle those like drawdown periods is just to recognize that you're in them and to risk off, right? And you can have things, you can have like hard-coded rules when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? Where you say that, like, you know, if you lose 2 trades in a day or 2 trades in a row, then you stop trading for the rest of that day. Or if you lose 5 trades in a row on a week, then you stop trading for the rest of that week, right? And that's just to give you time to like assess your system, assess the market conditions, figure out what's going wrong. Because the last thing you want to be doing is just to be throwing cash into the fire as you struggle to understand what's actually happening, right? And why those mistakes are... Or wait, maybe there are mistakes, maybe it's market conditions, who knows, right? Maybe it's just system decay. So my advice, the first thing you should be doing is risking off. That doesn't mean that you don't risk or that you just stop trading altogether, but yeah, lower your risk. If your normal risk is 1%, go 0.5%, go 0.25%, whatever it is, go 0.2% until you figure out, until you get back into the flow, back into the rhythm, until you find your confidence again. But you also need to do a review of your strategy, a review of your system. Right? Do you have a trading system? Do you have trading rules? What are those rules? Do those rules need to be revised? What are the market conditions like? Right? Have the market conditions changed such that your old system is no longer as profitable or no longer has the same positive expectancy that it once has? Because in a lot of circumstances, that's going to be the case. You think the guys who made $10 million in 2021, you think they're having fun trading this market? I know plenty of guys for a fact have not made a single dollar the last 2-3 years, but they've been banking on all the money that they made in 2021 because the conditions were so vastly different, right? Each cycle is going to have a different market, and if your edge, if your system, if your strategy can't account for system decay, can't account for variable market conditions and market conditions that are constantly moving and constantly changing, then you're gonna have a tough time. It's frustrating though because I end up giving back some of the gains I made, even though it's relatively small. Yeah, well, that's part of the game, man. It's the price you gotta pay for that information, right? You've been getting cooked this year. You gotta work on risk management and learn to walk away. Well, that's part of the plan, man. BTC thoughts. So the streams are always the same. First like 10-15 minutes we talk about BTC, and then we don't really, I don't really go back to give my high time frame thoughts. So if you rewind the stream, you're gonna see what my thoughts are on BTC. But yeah, trading, it's trading into resistance. Or did I give my thoughts on BTC today? Maybe I didn't. In which case I apologize. I think this is the best chart to look at. Very, very quickly. I think we're trading in a range, right? We're trading in a range that is, let me pull open the big, yeah, there we go. We're trading in a range that is effectively around the POC for the bigger range, effectively around the POC for this bigger range going back to February. But if you just zoom in on price action we've had for June and July, not feeling this mix at all, my goodness. There we go. Do I trade meme coins? Not really. I don't do on-chain stuff, if that's what you mean. I just don't have any edge there. BTC is in a range going back to the start of June. And we could be setting up for a very nice rect-proof style 3-tap setup. This is your first low, the anchor low. The second low is the low that sweeps that low. And the third low is the low that retests that supply zone, or sorry, that demand zone, that order block, whatever you want to call it, retests the sweep. That would be if we get a bearish FOMC tomorrow. I think at that point it's quite likely that we'll come down and retest this 60-61k level. Otherwise, you know, this is your channel. This is your ascending channel. And the price action is constructive, right? We're seeing higher highs and higher lows here going back to the start of July. In which case, you know, this low you'd be expecting to lead to a higher high. That's the structural liquidity objective. Would be these equal highs here. So let's see. FOMC, all eyes on FOMC later today. I think if we get a bullish print, then I think we're going to do this. I think this is more like a bearish print scenario. So there you go. It's too heavy. I definitely need some new music. I've been listening to the same sets for quite a while now. Do you know what I've started listening to a lot of? Maybe might be something we play on stream at some point. I've been listening to a lot of drum and bass. I never, ever used to listen to drum and bass. I used to hate that music. Nice chart markup on BTC. It's okay. Do I still believe in new lows for Q3 and Q4? Yeah, I do. If they hike rates, maybe we see lower scenario. That's exactly what I said, yeah. Do I research new music on my own? I let YouTube and Spotify do the research for me. Weekly sweep, H12 OB is 60.8k. The Trader Main setup. This is, maybe Trader Main uses this. I think this is pretty commonly known as the rect-proof setup. The rect-proof 3-tap. We bounced perfectly from that 62.7k level you mentioned on previous streams. Yeah, we did. We did. It is this kind of channel support low, is I guess what we're calling it here. But yeah, this is an area where you would be expecting a lot of chop just by virtue of the fact that this is where the POC is. This is where the highest volume traded in this channel has been going back to the start of June. So I don't know. I'm expecting a Darth Maul candle for FOMC. Chop, 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 and then maybe we get a direction later in the day or tomorrow. At least nobody can disable shorting crypto, unlike the South Korea Tech Index. Did they? I saw something like that. I didn't look into it. So they deleted, they disabled market participants' ability to short. Liquid D&B is the base. So, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of that, man. I don't know why. I find it quite... It's interesting. Interesting music. That is crazy work. Can I look at BNB? BNB. I think we marked this up. Whoa. Did we mark this up at some point? Get a ticker that has a little bit more. I thought we had a markup on BNB. Maybe we don't. But yeah, I mean, I can mark it up very quickly. The BNB level that I like, we're actually trading at it. This has been an important level. This has been a type of composite value, composite volume profile value going back to 2021. It's also, in a way, you could call it a support resistance level, support resistance zone, I guess, because it's quite a big zone. But yeah, I don't know. We come down, we break through this, and it starts looking a little bit hairy. Maybe then you set your sights on something like this. I don't really know though. I don't think I've ever traded this coin, so I don't have any strong opinions. Why? Where are you looking? Probabilities are 65% of a no change. Yeah, but that's still huge. That's still a huge probability that we get a rate hike. 9 Manny, where are you looking? It reminds me of this BTC chart, right? Very similar to this high time frame BTC chart, where you're looking at this zone as kind of a composite value area. And this is something that Credible Crypto mentioned when we did our co-stream together a few weeks ago. This is your composite value area. This is your composite demand zone, right? And the idea is that as long as it holds, then you should be expecting a reaction. If we flip it to a supply zone, if we flip it to a breaker, then probably not great. Probably not great for our coins. But this is something I've been waiting for. I still think we get lower. I still think we get something into the low 40s or high 30s. That will be our cycle low. Anyone else have crazy bad hay fever at the moment? I am. It's like I have a cold. We have unseasonably warm weather in Ireland at the moment, so it means lots of pollen in the air. Your boy is having a tough time. It's an Irish curse. Hay fever? I don't know many people that have hay fever, to be honest. Do I play poker? I don't. I never got into it really. It wasn't like a big thing. Like me and my mates sometimes played in college, but no, I never got into it to the level that, you know, some of the crypto guys got into it. My game was always chess, and I asked Marquise about me and chess. Chess is it sounds like a ridiculous thing to say, but I've had to really stop myself from playing it because I play so much. I fucking love it, but it's just not a good use of my time. Like, I would happily play chess all day. That sounds like a ridiculous thing to say. I would play online chess for 12 hours and I would be happy. That's not a joke. But that's obviously not a good use of my time. It's like playing video games, you know, it's not really a good use of your time. So I've had to be really, I've been limiting how much I play, but it's, you know, it's an effort. It's a sensitive topic. Oh, it's not a healthy addiction. It's not, Film Ninja. It's not a healthy addiction. You could say that about playing fucking Legend of Zelda or Animal Crossing. What makes one healthy and one unhealthy? It's still wasting time, in my opinion. It's unproductive time. Yeah, it's not a healthy addiction when you play for hours. Yeah, I agree. Eastern Europe is the worst pollen season, is going bonkers. Interesting. Are we going to get our reversal here? What's the M30 candle shaping up to be? It's still very green. Flat bottom, though. Ah, not at all. Ignore that. I know I'm spamming, so I'm sorry. With BTC pumping this hard before the meeting, is this a place where you should just sit in your hands and wait? Yes. As I said already, we are trading at basically mid-range. Trading at this POC level, trading at this high volume node. This is where you would be expecting maximum chop. This is, look at this volume profile. Since price started ranging back in June, this is the profile of all the volume, right? What do you notice? Big zone here of high volume. This is where historically, going back 2 months, this is where traders have agreed that BTC is fairly priced. This is where they're most willing to engage with it. So that means that instead of having asymmetric, imbalanced price action, right, where you get a move to the upside or a move to the downside, here we can expect chop. We can expect engagement from both buyers and sellers, which probably means, you know, upside moves that get retraced, downside moves that get retraced, pumps that get faded, drops that reverse, right? V-shape reversals. It's there's a reason we say don't diddle in the middle. There's a volume-based reason for that, as well as it being a range-bound price action principle, right? We always say play from the extremes of a range. You look to short the highs, you look to long the lows, and you stay away from the middle, because the middle, typically it's the hardest trade to take, because your directional bias is going to be more difficult to ascertain, because you got buyers and sellers engaging with price. So couple that with an FOMC where we don't know what to expect. Nothing is priced in. Yeah. My guess would be that if we get the no rate hikes, that we're just going to see a massive Darth Maul candle here, followed by upside into the rest of the week, with maybe a retest of this 66, 67K level towards Friday. And if we get a rate hike, then my feeling is that we're going to retest 61K. That would be my take on it. If you aren't a range maxi, become one. Exactly. It probably improves your attention span and problem solving skills. Yeah, it's addictions of any form are not typically healthy. I've had to put hard limits in place when it comes to online chess. It's too addictive, man. The feeling when you win, the feeling when you beat someone. But it's like, you know, it's like video games for me. I don't play video games because for me it's quite difficult to just jump in and play for an hour and then jump out. I'm not really that type of personality. Maybe a slightly addictive personality, and that kind of reflects on like trading and building, and you know what I'm doing now with the streams. You can definitely channel that addictive compulsion, that kind of mono focus. You can channel it in really positive ways, which I quite like that about myself. But yeah, playing chess for 6 hours in a row is not a positive way of channeling that. Problem is, you could diddle at the extreme, but then the middle comes to your entry. What do you mean by that? Don't diddle in the middle sounds wrong. It's intended to sound wrong so it sticks in your brain. Do this for the entire bear market, and then you start seeing things. Yeah. Where do you want the monthly to close for a blessing Q3 or just a new month? What do you mean by that? Oh, sorry, for a bullish Q3. Where do you want the monthly to close for a bullish Q3? I mean, monthly close isn't something that I pay too much attention to. Where's our monthly chart? Yeah, here we go. I mean, Does it matter? I think we're gonna see. Choppy price action in August. I don't think the market's gonna pick a direction. I made a prediction at the start of July that we would see some upside, that we would see a green month. We're seeing that so far. However, I think that towards the end of the year we will roll over. I know that midterms historically have been quite bearish for risk on assets like crypto. Midterms are in what, October? That would line up, man. That would line up with everything. Midterms, AI unwind trade, historical cycles, right? Past cycles, BTC has bottomed, you know, usually 52, 53 weeks after the bear market starts, and I think that would put us bang on around mid-October. So yeah, that's where I'm kind of looking for the market to bottom net. You can say, oh, it's a crowded trade. That's what everyone's looking for. Who knows, man? I've said it before. I don't believe in crowded trades, and I think that people looking around X and saying that, oh, Johnny and Jimmy both think that this is going to happen, therefore it's not going to happen. That's a dangerous way of looking at things. All right, boys, we're going to call it there as we come on to the hour. Thank you very much for joining. Very quickly, for the last 30 seconds of the stream, tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. UTC, so that's 12:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a new stream. It's a new show. It's going to be called The Breakdown. It's going to be with a co-host, Kraken's chief economist, a very smart guy called Thomas Perfumo. He's going to be co-hosting the show with me, and the idea is that we're going to be tackling the macro questions, the important questions about BTC. For instance, we just spoke about market bottoming, historical cycles. That's the kind of thing we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about big picture concepts. Where does the market bottom? Where's the cycle low? Looking at previous cycles. What can macro liquidity tell us? What can certain macro indicators tell us about BTC and where it's likely to go over the coming 8, 12, 18 months? Stuff like that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So that kicks off tomorrow. It's a later time than the open show. As I said, 4:30 p.m. UTC, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully see you there. I will be streaming on Twitch, X, and YouTube, same as with this show. But yeah, exciting times. New show. When to bet in the house, exactly. Yeah, the big live questions. The new show is going to be amazing. I agree, Kraken Exchange. I agree. Ask Thomas about his dancing at the weekend? Okay, I will. Maybe that's a question for the end of the stream. All right, boys, we're going to call it there. Thank you very much for joining. We will see you tomorrow for The Breakdown. And then, of course, we will have our final The Open show on Friday. But yes, tomorrow, new show launching tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. UTC, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. We will see you there. Until then, thanks, Goldfinchy. Thanks, Microsailor. Thanks, Sarah Lone. See you there, Marquis. See you there, Veslin. See you there, Sizz. See you there, Beerlack. Oh, Kaido. I did forget. My bad. MB. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I will get to that on Friday. You get a free chart markup request on me. Oh, the prediction winners. God damn. Yeah, we finished in the green. We finished in the green. Let me confirm that. Yeah, GG. We're gonna forget that at some point because bullish. Because it's getting dangerously close. It's getting dangerously close. All right, congrats to the Bulls. You get you win the prize. You win all the prizes. You win all the glory and all the bragging rights. We will see you tomorrow for the breakdown. Until then, stay safe. Try not to get liquidated. We'll catch you next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Love you. Bye-bye.